can produce polycythemia. Okay. Increased parathormone related peptide can produce hypercalcemia. Increased renin can produce hypertension, and increased IL-6 can produce jaundice, which is asked in your MCQ world to be a syndrome called as Stauffer syndrome. Please tell me when you have completed writing. Hello?
Yes, sir, done.
Done, na? Good. Second point on history. Metastasis of renal cell cancer. What does renal cell cancer metastasize? Question will be, what are the sites that renal cell cancer metastasize? Number one is lung, where on chest X-ray you get something that will be seeing your chest X-ray in your X-ray class. Cannonball. This is called as a cannonball mets, followed by presentation with cough and hemoptysis. If it goes to the bones, particularly long bones, it leads to pathological fractures. The site of the pathological fracture clinically are warm and pulsatile. That means, if for example someone has a fracture humerus, the fracture site is felt as warm and pulsatile, or the site of bone mets is felt as warm and pulsatile, whatever you like to have. Okay, so if you get a patient of RCC, remember you are required to take this history, or you are required to take this history as a part of writing in your khata. Please tell me when you have completed writing. Done, sir. Yes, sir. Done, na? Written? Good. So now, what is my diagnostic algorithm? Examiner asks me, talk about the management of suspected RCC. Theory question भी आता है. Patient comes with hematuria and a renal lump. What is the first investigation that you have done, sir? Is ultrasound. Okay, remember this thing that we did, ultrasound? And after the ultrasound is done, then ultrasound tells you, I suspect a renal cell cancer. I need to confirm my diagnosis. How do I confirm my diagnosis? By doing something called as a CT scan. Can you tell me the full form of the CT scan? Contrast enhanced. Very good. What type of contrast? Is a IV contrast. Okay. Now, IV contrast CT scan technically is said to be the investigation of choice, which shows you on a CT scan a heterogeneous hypervascular SOL with necrosis. Please tell me when you have completed writing. Another additional finding can be, if this is the renal vein, there can be extension of the tumor I can also see a renal vein thrombus. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. After that means this is done. At this point, we determine whether it is resectable or it is not resectable. Not resectable का मतलब, example, lung mets. How could you understand the lung mets? I did a chest X-ray before or along with the CT abdomen, or I could have done a CT abdomen also. What is the chest X-ray finding in a patient of renal cell cancer?
Cannonball mets.
Cannonball mets. So if it is not resectable, then do an FNAC from the renal lump and go for palliative therapy, which can be angioembolization. Why do I need an angioembolization? To stop
vascular tumor.
Very good. To stop.
Nutrition to the operational supply.
To stop bleeding. Patient, remember, came with hematuria. Patient is bleeding, sir. आपको bleeding बंद करना है. Or you can go for palliative nephrectomy. This is what I like to do. Or honors getting question. Nowadays we go for something called as tyrosine kinase inhibitor by the name of, do you know some tyrosine kinase inhibitor by the name of S? Sorafenib. Please tell me when you have completed this. This is what you are going to write for your theory also, and believe me, this is what we really do in a real world. When patient comes to me in my clinic, this is what I do. And if you answer like this, that means that you are really going to the hospital. You know how to treat patients rather than ratify things. Okay, you know. Please, please tell me when you have completed writing.
স্যার ওর এফএনএসি আর লাভ কি আছে? মেটাস্টাসিস আছে মানে তোর ক্যান্সার আছে আর আমি
proof. Who told you that this patient has a cancer? पेशेंट का लड़का आपसे पूछा, डॉक्टर बाबू किसने बोला कैंसर है? सर प्रूफ दिस इज अ कैंसर. ओके,
यस
ठीक है. Now if it is resectable, no FNAC, because if you do an FNAC, what happens is there is something called as tumor spillage and needle tract seedling. This happens when there is a needle tract seedling and a tumor spillage. You go for supportive investigations. Supportive investigations माने to make the patient fit for GA. GA माने general anesthesia, and please proceed to do an operation that is called as radical Khatam. Okay. We will be talking about radical nephrectomy in surgical specimens, not today. So please remember that. Okay. ठीक है? Yes, sir. So please write specimen of RCC पढ़ना होगा. Specimen of RCC पढ़ना होगा. इसके साथ. Complete?
Yes.
Good. Talk about hydronephrosis. Hydronephrosis is something where people are not going to ask you how to manage a hydronephrosis, because majority of us do not do urology operations anymore. Urology has been taken over by urologists. And the first thing that you are asked is in MBBS, how do you define a hydronephrosis? Hydronephrosis is defined as a dilatation of pelvic-calyceal system due to intermittent or partial obstruction of ureter. Please complete writing and then we'll proceed.
Cancer.
Done? Good. What is important word in this one? This is such a definition that is really should be lined by a golden line. Which word do you think is the most important in this part of the definition?
Intermittent or partial.
Intermittent or partial. Because if you ligate the ureter totally, you land up with an acute renal failure. Okay, no hydronephrosis, please. To get a hydronephrosis, the ureter has to be partially blocked, not complete. So please remember that. What are the causes of hydronephrosis? HDN is hydronephrosis. We can divide the causes as unilateral and we can divide the causes as bilateral. Unilateral, as you have known, we have discussed it in the urology class. It can be causes outside the ureter, which the best example of this is compression by a tumor or a cancer. Can you tell me what kind of a cancer can compress the ureter on one side and produce hydronephrosis?
Cervical cancer.
Cervical cancer, very good. And in surgery, sir, cancer colon, right colon cancer, CT scan. What are you looking for? Tumor, metastasis, ascites, सब कुछ देख लिया. Ureter देखिए सर, ureter में चाप दे रहा है कि नहीं? Causes in the lumen. Oh, sorry. Causes in the lumen. Best example is stones. And causes in the wall. Best example is congenital PUJ obstruction, definitely which does not occur at this point, occurs at this point. Pelviureteric junction or ureteric stricture. In India, can you tell me the cause of ureteric stricture? Very good. Very good, sir. बस ये लिख लीजिए. Okay? Done? Just tell me when complete. When it is bilateral, the causes can be divided as the causes in the bladder, the causes in the prostate and the causes in the urethra. Causes in the bladder. What are the causes in the bladder? Causes in the bladder will be stone disease, vesicoureteral reflux disease, ureterocele, and cancer of the urinary bladder. Sometimes you can add neurogenic bladder also to the list. Stone, vesicoureteral reflux, ureterocele, cancer urinary bladder, and neurogenic bladder. Causes in the prostate, only two causes: benign hyperplasia prostate, cancer prostate. Causes in the urethra. Can you tell me some cause in the urethra? Urethra is a pipe. Cause in the lumen is a stone. Cause in the wall is a stricture. And in a male child, very good. In a male child, writing like this in an exam, believe me, you are going to get full marks. Just tell me when you have completed. Okay? Done, sir. Done, na? Very good. We will stop kidney lumps at this point because please keep a note. You must see the specimen. When I will be teaching you specimens in neurology or specimen class of hydronephrosis. Please see the specimen of renal cell cancer. Please see the specimen of hydronephrosis for operations in hydronephrosis. And please make a note, star देके रख दीजिएगा. What is radical nephrectomy? That will be described under specimen of renal cell cancer. Okay? Please tell me when you guys have completed. Hello. Yes, sir. Done. Done, na? Good. So this guys completes abdominal lump in all. 5 minutes summary of abdominal lump. Summary of abdominal lump. Any abdominal lump, as I have said, the clinical diagnosis of abdominal lump is always based on the probable organ that you have or in your mind. Now when you talk about an organ or a tissue plane, things are easy to understand. What are the tissue planes that we have talked about? So the tissue planes can be very good. It can be very quickly described as very quickly described as parietal. You can see the yellow colored fat. Okay, so the tissue planes could be parietal or intra-abdominal. When I talk about intra-abdominal, they are again of two types. Intra-peritoneal and retroperitoneal. You know the test to distinguish between them. Now if you think of this quadrant wise, then what are the various organs quadrant wise. Chalo. Umbilicus, midline, done. To start with, when you talk about the right upper abdomen, okay, what will be the organs that I have with me? I have liver, I have gallbladder, I have any other organs? Yes, sir. Maybe the duodenum. Okay, maybe the head pancreas. We'll start jaundice immediately, and this is what we'll treat. These are all what kind of organs? These are all examples of intraperitoneal organs. Can you give me an example of a retroperitoneal organ? Retroperitoneal organ?
Right kidney.
Right kidney. And any other cause of a retroperitoneal lump in this region?
RP sarcoma.
Oh my god, you are so impressed by the RP sarcoma. Good. So it is retroperitoneal sarcoma. RP sarcoma. ठीक है, चलो. Done. When you talk about the left upper quadrant, then in the left upper quadrant, what are the organs in concern? Spleen, stomach, and colon. Oh, I should have written colon down here also. Right part of the colon, left part of the colon. Three things. What are the retroperitoneal organs? Left kidney, and again your RP sarcoma. Retroperitoneal sarcoma. In the right lower quadrant, what are the intraperitoneal organs? Right lower quadrant,
Colon. Appendix.
colon, appendix. Okay, some people even bring loops of ileum also in the story. Okay, are the structures. What are the retroperitoneal structures, sir? We have discussed this. What are the retroperitoneal structures?
Psoas sepsis and RP sarcoma.
Okay, RP sarcoma, and in a male,
Undescended testis.
undescended testis. Left lower quadrant. What are the intraperitoneal organs? Not the great
Sigmoid colon.
sigmoid colon. Okay. What are retroperitoneal organs? Again, the same story. Psoas, RP sarcomas, and UTTs. Now, in females, an important point to understand, an ovarian lump, or a tubo-ovarian lump can come technically in any lower abdominal quadrant. They are so mobile, you can get them in any lower abdominal quadrant. So you can keep it as a DD in a female patient along all cases in this. Okay, so this more or less summarizes your part. Central abdominal lump. What will be the thing that I will be thinking for? Central abdominal lump.
Distended bladder.
Central abdominal.
Or pancreas.
Central abdominal, I did not teach you pancreas, sir. Intraperitoneal will be mesenteric cyst. I remember I taught you this one. Chylolymphatic. Okay. What are retroperitoneal? Retroperitoneal again could be retroperitoneal sarcoma, or retroperitoneal. What is the other differential diagnosis that I told you? Lymph nodes. Now, rarely, I said rare because I do not teach it at an MBBS, because if I teach, problems are people say this in an exam, hence I don't teach. You get something called as an abdominal aortic aneurysm, which is uncommon in our country. Abdominal aortic aneurysm. Okay? Talk about an epigastric lump. Now, when you talk about an epigastric lump, remember, an epigastric lump, what are the intraperitoneal diagnoses that I have? Stomach. Anything more, sir, in this region? Hello? Anything more? Spleen. Okay. First part of duodenum. Transverse colon. Very good. Done. What are the retroperitoneal structures in this area that come in my differential diagnosis? They are pseudocysts of the pancreas. If you are intent on making pancreatic tumor. Any other differential diagnosis? Retroperitoneum, retroperitoneal sarcoma. Any other differential diagnosis? Retroperitoneal nodes. And any other differential diagnosis? I told you this is a new thing that you have learned. Abdominal aortic aneurysm. Before going to the next case, this is a very, very rare event. Hence, this is the last topic. How do you differentiate an abdominal aortic aneurysm from a retroperitoneal sarcoma that is sitting over the aorta? This is the vertebrae. This is the abdominal aortic aneurysm. And this is the retroperitoneal sarcoma. This is the aorta. And this is the sarcoma. How will you differentiate these two? Hello?
Aortic aneurysm will be pulsatile.
Both are pulsatile, sir. Retroperitoneal sarcomas, if they're in front of the aorta, they will bring the pulsation.
Extensile transmit.
Very good. That means if you keep your finger like this, your fingers are going to go up, and that is called as a transmitted pulsation. In this case, if you keep your fingers like this, hope that the aneurysm will enlarge and the fingers will not only go up but will go out. So this is called as an expansile pulsation. Okay? Done? Hello? Completed, sir?
Yes.
Hello? Done. Okay. Few additional points on a retroperitoneal sarcoma. I told you I will be telling you this one. A retroperitoneal sarcomas can remember, number one, they are extremely rare kind of a tumor. Number two, they can occur in all age groups. Number three, they can occur in any part of abdomen. Number four, what is the next point? If they are in the retroperitoneum, they do not move with respiration. Finally, remember, they are known to invade or compress surrounding structure. Thus, if they compress the inferior vena cava, what will be the clinical finding? No varicose vein or inferior vena cava.
Hepatomegaly.
But
Sir, ये postural hypotension মানে
come on, man.
supine hypotension.
Edema.
Portal bilateral pedal edema.
Total hypertension. Guys, you are really
Anna
bad
Sarka?
at
Anna Sarka?
हे भगवान. But varicose vein. That means you have not done the varicose vein class. If there is something that is pressing the inferior vena cava, blood from both the limbs will not be able to go to the heart, will lead to bilateral pedal edema. This is not called anasarca. Anasarca is generalized edema. Very simple the question.
But pregnancy তে যখন compress করে তখন তো মানে supine position hypotension হয়.
Sir, that is rare. Again, guys, you are bringing it rare to rare. How many pregnant women have you seen have a head injury due to an hypotension? 99.99% never have. Come on, guys, you have really picked up all the rare to rare events. Think of simple thing, na. In pregnancy, see that women have bilateral pedal edema. Why? Because the pregnant uterus compresses upon the iliac vein. The sarcoma does the same thing. Bas. Again, like a pregnant uterus, it leads to a hydronephrosis. Unilateral or bilateral, depends upon how large the sarcoma is. It can compress upon the colon to produce constipation. These are all the technical findings of a retroperitoneal sarcoma. The investigation of choice of a retroperitoneal sarcoma is always a CECT scan. And the treatment of choice is, if resectable, then resection to obtain clear margin. Complete?
Yes, sir.
So more or less we have discussed all abdominal lumps as much as can be. We have discussed about all things in abdominal lump along with the summary of what you should know about an abdominal lump. At least this thing will suffice for your medicine, pediatrics, gynecology and surgery also. So what we'll do is that we'll start with the new cases on jaundice within a minute. Just 50 seconds, any queries that I have?
Sir, which structures move with respiration and which not? Can you say that?
Organs that move with respiration, remember the answer is very clear. This is the diaphragm. That means things that are in contact with the diaphragm will move. Liver moves with diaphragm. So tick mark. Which part of the stomach is in contact? Fundus. Hence, the stomach also moves on respiration. Spleen moves with respiration. So I will draw the smiley. The kidney is in touch with the liver and the spleen. Hence, they are also moving with respiration. Bus, that's it, guys.
The gallbladder also.
Oh. Gallbladder also. What about adrenal gland? What about adrenal?
They will move with
Think of it today. Don't move. Think of it today, guys. सब कुछ तो बोलना ठीक नहीं है. You must think also.
I think because ওটা phrenic ইয়ের সাথে মানে diaphragm সাথে attached থাকে ওই capsule.
Okay, no answers please today. What about if the lump is arising from the adrenal gland? Does it move with respiration? And if it is it an intraperitoneal lump or a retroperitoneal lump? What kind of lump is this? Chalo. Okay, so guys, we complete abdominal lumps in totality. I hope you have kept a good notes because this is all around 4 or 5 clinical books combined ka gyan. We start with
Sir, why can't a lump be both bimanually palpable and palpable?
simple. Array. You did not look at the picture, na? What was there in the picture that makes a lump palatable, sir? What makes it palatable? What is exactly palatability? That means to be palatable, what was the first requisite that I told you? The lump has to have a pedicle, okay? And in the step number 1, what is the first thing that I am doing, sir? Posterior hand is filling. Then what is the next step that is having? It is giving a dhakka so that the upper hand is filling. Upper hand is now giving a dhakka so that the lower hand is filling. What is a bimanual palpable lump? A bimanually palpable lump is at one point of time it is being felt by both the hands. So how can you have a lump which is being felt by both the hands called as a palatable lump? Have you understood this, sir?
Yes.
Okay, now please tell me other palatable lumps in the abdomen. Gynecology, man. Array, pregnancy. Okay, sir. Pregnancy is the ठीक है. Which week? And what is that sign called as? You guys are not reading gynae. बड़ा दुख की बात है ये. What are the signs in pregnancy? 6 to 8 weeks. I forgot the name of this. Is this a Chadwick sign? Not very sure. Hagar sign. I'm bad with gynecology, guys. Hence I became a surgeon. Okay. So in the 6th and 8th week, on a bimanual palpation, the uterus has a palatability due to the fetal pole that forms. Please look into that. That is called as a palatable swelling. This is a pet question in gynecology. Okay, chalo, done. Let us begin with obstructive jaundice. Now, obstructive jaundice. Yes, sir.
Sir, can I ask one question about the palpation of the kidney part?
Yeah, go on then. Then we come to the jaundice topic.
স্যার যখন কিডনি প্যালপিটেট করছে আমরা লেফট কিডনিটা তো ওখানে ডায়াগ্রামটা খুব দেখানো যে আমরা লেফট হ্যান্ডটাকে এরকম করে বেঁকিয়ে প্যালপেট করছি তো ইজ ইট নট পসিবল যে আমরা যদি পেশেন্টেরই লেফট সাইডে চলে আসি
Exactly. Very good point. Very good point raised. You have raised exactly the rightest point that I hope someone of you will be asking. So nice that you asked the question. Rather than making such gymnastics with your hand, why don't you go to the left side of the abdomen and then palpate? Now you tell me, guys, if you are now going to the left side of the abdomen, which hand will be on anterior abdominal wall? Which hand will be on posterior abdominal wall?
Right hand would be posterior, left hand would be anterior.
Beautiful. So the left kidney can be palpated by going to the left side of the bed also, and what you have said is perfectly right. Very good. Okay, chalo. You can do also on the set, but it is now see majority of times in an exam, you do not go to the left side. You do not. You stand on the right side. That is the reason. Now, jaundice, definitely remember, is a very straightforward case. And I do not know why people unnecessarily go on complicating patients with jaundice with no reason whatsoever. Believe me, I do not find any reason why should people get confused. The first and the most important requisite is please refer to the
Sir?
theory class.
স্যার আজ কত অবধি ক্লাস হবে
9:15 থেকে 9:30 maximum.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
Okay. Now when you talk about obstructive jaundice,